Hola chicos, this week in Spanish 2, we are going to continue with learning the preterite. A couple different things to let you know is that everything that we're learning eventually will be kind of recycled and reused. What do I mean? Eventually, you will have some assignments that will make sure that you still remember your 5 memorized, that you still remember your regular AR, ER, and IR verbs, and eventually remember these last 3 different types of irregular verbs that we're going to be working with. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this week you guys do understand the different forms of the preterite, including what I call the cars, gars, and zars. So remember, preterite is still past tense. It happened only a certain number of times. You have your 5 memorized: ser, ir, ver, dar, and hacer. Okay. You also learned last week all the irregular, or the endings for the regular verbs. I'm sorry, e, aste, o, almozaron, and for ERs and IRs, iste, io, imos, ieron. You also remembered, and hopefully are still remembering as you guys are conjugating verbs, that we don't have boot verbs. Eventually we'll have sandals, but right now we don't have any boot verbs. And so we did do the memorized already, but there are more irregulars. And so this week we're going to focus on the cars, gars, and zars. And the one thing I want you to notice right now, when I say car, gar, and zar, notice that every single one is an AR verb. So knowing that they're all AR verbs, what kind of endings are they going to use? The AR endings. So remember, cars, gars, and zars are all the verbs in Spanish that end with CAR, GAR, and ZAR. Now, even though they're weird and irregular verbs, they're all going to use these endings: e, aste, o, amos, aron. Now, the other thing that's going to be weird about cars, gars, and zars is that they only are weird in the yo form. So remember when we learned our yogos? We only had to learn the irregular yo form, and then the rest of the verb followed the pattern. Well, that's the same thing with cars, gars, and zars, okay? It only happens in the yo form. So it only will change in the yo form, okay? That first bullet says you have to change the letter C to a QU, okay? So a C to a QU. Now, the one thing that you have to know about that then is that all you would do after that would be to write your ending, meaning if it's in the yo form, it's always going to be with an E accent. So take a look at that verb, buscar. As I conjugate buscar in the yo form, I'm going to take off the C. That C becomes a QU. And just like the answer there, I have busque. But as I go through this, everything else is normal. So it's no longer busque with a QUE in the to form. It's going to be buscaste with a CASTE. Same thing with the he, she form. It no longer does the weird part. So it's going to be busco with a no accent. Buscamos and buscaron. So here is the verb. Busque, buscaste, buscó, buscamos, buscaron. Now, if we were in class, yo, I'd be making a big deal, yo, about how they're only in the yo form, yo. So just remember, cars, gars, and zars only happen in the yo form, yo. And also, if I was in class while you guys were working on worksheets, I might all of a sudden just go beep, 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 beep. Why? Because I want you to remember that cars are weird. They're dangerous. We have to remember they're weird only in the yo form, and they change a C to a QU. Gars, on the other hand, work very similar. So here we have the verb to play. Now remember, we do not make changes that we did for boot verbs. So when we have the verb hugar, we're not going to remember any of those irregularities about the boots, okay? However, in the yo form, we are going to have to remember that gars change differently. The G in this case isn't going to stay a G. It's going to change to a GU, and then we're going to write our E accent. So huge is going to be our verb. Now, as we go through the rest, yo, do we make different changes outside of the yo form yo when they're cars, gars, and zars? No, we don't. So, jugaste, jugó, jugamos, and jugaron are going to be our new verbs. How do I know what endings to use? They're AR verbs. And what form are they irregular? Only in the yo form, yo. So keeping in mind that these verbs are irregular only this way. Now, why do I have that little alligator there? The reason why is it's more like a gar. If you've never been in a lake fishing before, gars are fish that have long snouts like an alligator and teeth, okay? And so when you are thinking about gars are dangerous. You don't want to be eaten alive in a Nebraska lake. And so a lot of times in class, I go, "Ang, ang, ang, ang." Remember cars, beep, beep. The C changes to a QU. Gars are dangerous as well. And so the G is going to change to a GU. So let's take a look at our verb one last time. Are they regular in all the forms? No, only in the yo form, yo. Okay, here's our new verb, huge, just in the yo form. Notice that I used my regular tense AR verb endings, hugue, jugaste, jugó, jugamos, jugaron. Okay. So we have a beep beep and we have a ang, 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 ang. The last one is a zar. Now, a zar, CZAR, were the kings in Russia that were not very nice to people. And these people you kind of feared because you didn't want them to chop off your head. So my little sound effect in class would have been because you did not want to have your head chopped off with a zar. So remember, yo, it's only in the yo form, yo. Because it's only in the yo form, the Z is going to change to a C. Now, what is the ending going to be? An E accent. And how do I know that? Because of the fact that I'm going to use the AR preterite endings. So everything else is still going to have that Z. It's just the yo form, yo, where you have to make this weird spelling change. So the example written there, empezar, it's a starter to begin. Yo, only in the yo form, yo, is it going to be weird. And so the Z changes to a C, only in the yo form. Everything else is normal. Empecé, empezaste, empezó, empezamos, empezaron. So remember, only in the yo form is it going to be weird, yo. Okay. So just like the yogos, we have to remember cars, gars, and zars. Beep, beep, C changes to a QU. Ang, 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 ang. Gars, the G changes to a GU, only in the yo form, yo. And zars, the Z is going to change to a C. Now, if I put it in the he, she form, I don't have to worry about it. It's only in the yo form that we have to be careful of these. Now, the tricky part is going to be as the week goes on, sometimes cars, gars, and zars will change and sometimes they won't. So remember, number one, it has to be in the yo form. Number two, when you do make the change, Z to C, G to GU, and C to QU. We use our regular AR endings, and you've got it. So keeping that in mind, if you don't have time to stop in at our Zoom, at least make sure that you guys are practicing. I gave you guys an optional practice sheet. I'm not saying you have to do it, but eventually this is going to start compounding and compounding. Remember, you eventually will have an assessment that does have all the preterites that we are working on. And so trying to keep them straight in your head is going to be extremely important. So 5 memorized, our regular endings, cars, gars, and zars. We're a little bit over halfway of learning our verbs, but next week's verbs get a lot more difficult. Next week's verbs are going to require a little bit of memorization. So this week, remember, beep, beep, cars, C to Q U, gars, G to G U, and zars, Z to C. See you guys next week.